Most people are bracing for layoffs or attrition in federal agencies this year, but there's one agency that's set to explode, and it's in the Department of Homeland Security. Specifically, it's in the Citizenship and Immigration Services, or the USCIS. Could you land a better job with them? Let's break it all down using data to tell the whole story, and then give you a few tips so that you can stand out when you're applying. The USCIS is responsible for the nation's immigration system. They provide a lot of services for immigrants that are coming to the country, from the application process to the green card processing. They have a huge role to play in the future of the country. Right now, they have about 20,000 employees. This number is set to grow by the thousands. Why? Because of the new administration. Trump has three main goals here. 1, increase enforcement of immigration laws. 2, enforcing new policies. And 3, improve the speed of background checks. So let's talk a little bit about this agency in recent years. In 2020, they faced a huge challenge when a fiscal crisis forced them to consider furloughs and hiring freezes. But as of today, they've successfully rebuilt their workforce. They're currently at a higher point than any time in their history when it comes to employees, and they're only looking to recruit more to meet the growing demand of immigration. In fact, USCIS has been hosting career fairs across the country. 16 in 2024 alone, attracting veterans, recent graduates, technologists, and professionals from different fields. They've even created entry-level positions to make it easier for people to join their agency. Now, the best way to go is in-person hiring events. But if you can't do that because of your location or because of what's happening in your life, the next best thing is virtual hiring events. And a lot of times these are happening every single week. And if you're not getting the list, it's because you're not signed up to the free newsletter down below. I push out hiring events every Thursday. So USCIS has all types of employees from diverse backgrounds to include veterans. Veterans right now make up about 30% of their workforce. So with such a strong workforce, they want to focus more on the morale of the workforce. The agency has seen an all-time high in employee engagement. 73% of employees are satisfied at the USCIS, which is a 6-year high. Main reason for this? Leadership and work-life balance. This is a good indicator that this agency is a place where people feel actually valued. Now, they've been doing a great job recently when it comes to the backlog. Backlog's been a huge issue, but that's been able to get reduced recently. In 2024, they processed a record of 13.2 million cases, even though they had a 20% increase in filings. That's a massive amount of work, and USCIS needs more professionals to help with the mission. But what type of jobs are available? Let's take a look. Jump on USAJobs.gov. The first one here is a mission support specialist with a salary range between $68,000 and $107,000 a year. This one's located in Northern Virginia. It's open to the public, meaning anyone can apply. This particular one is in the asylum division. It requires a secret clearance, but you do not need to already possess a clearance. You just need to be qualified. What experience will get you qualified here? Well, it's experience providing assistance in the evaluation and analysis of administrative programs, carrying out portions of specific projects, identifying solutions, and some budget experience. Good thing about this one, it has a promotion ladder. So you come in as a GS9, 12 months later, you could be a GS11. Also, check this out. The agency will only review the first 5 pages of your resume. That means a 10 to 15 page resume is not going to cut it for this position. You can do it. You can apply with a 10-page resume. They're only looking at the first 5 pages. So if you have important stuff at the last 5 pages, they're not going to look at that. And we've been talking about this for a while now. We have DHS, that's what this is. And we've also had DOD and some other agencies that have been limiting their review to the first 5 pages. Now, why? It's clear why, because the whole hiring process takes too long. And if you and your friends are submitting 20-page resumes, do you think it's going to be shorter or longer? Obviously, it's going to be longer. That's something that we're trying to fight against, right? Nobody likes a long process. So we want things more concise. Let's limit it to 5 pages. The private sector is 1 to 2 pages. So 5 pages is plenty to get your experience out there. Now, what if you have 20, 30 years of experience? Well, I would tell you, focus on the most recent 10 years. You don't have to go back to 1997. I know you probably did some great things in the 90s, but you have to question its relevancy. Even if you were using Microsoft Excel in 1998, it's different. It's different in 2025. So focus on relevancy, past 10 years in most cases. Okay, next job is a security specialist with a salary range between $88,000 and $151,000 a year. This one could be located in different places from Indianapolis all the way to New York. This one is in the threat management division, and it has a top secret clearance requirement. Once again, you don't have to have the clearance to apply, but you should be aware with a top secret clearance, it could be a longer hiring process because there are more steps for you to get your clearance. The adjudicator is going to take a little bit longer depending on your situation. So you could be looking at, I don't know, probably between 6, 8, 10 months in some cases. In other cases, the agency might give you an interim clearance and you can start working right away until the rest of the investigation has been finalized. All right, so the experience you would need for this one is coordinating local security program, assisting in development of writing SOPs and establishing security policies. This is in the 0080 job series, and it's one of the job series I've been recommending to a lot of people, especially people with a security background. Let's say you were a security guard for 7, 10, 12 years. There's a security guard position in the government. It's under the 0085 job series, but 0080 pays better. By and large. On average, 0080 pays better. And if you had experience, updating security policies or advising or recommending that the policies be adjusted, a lot of times experience like that can make you eligible for the 0080. Okay, so the next one is a business operations specialist with a salary range between $88,000 and $115,000 a year. This one's 100% remote, meaning you can live anywhere. Being able to work at home 5 days a week, it's very appealing. Not just to you and me, but to everyone else who's looking on USAJobs.gov. So they receive more applications. There's more competition for you. And with more competition, it means you need to stand out even more than normal. And that's probably why they limited this job announcement to the first 75 applicants. Because they know if they leave it open long enough, you're going to get 700 or 7,000 people applying to this job announcement. This position is in the 1100 job series, which covers business. Most of these jobs, they require a business degree or business semester hours, but not this one. This one doesn't require any education. You just need experience in research, review, and writing documents, creating or reviewing policy, and briefing leadership on complex matters. Now let's talk about the skills and experience that you need in order to be competitive. As we just saw, I was reading the specialized experience for each one of these job announcements. That is where you need to go. You open up a job announcement, make sure you're eligible to even apply for it, and then scroll on down to specialized experience. You need to make sure that your resume is clearly speaking to the words that you find in that paragraph. Because if you don't, you probably won't get referred. And if you get referred, it's highly unlikely that you would get picked for an interview. So that's what you should focus on first. And you're going to notice with a lot of these jobs, it's mainly soft skills, not necessarily the technical skills. So don't be afraid to go ahead and focus in and show that you've made achievements using your soft skills. Now, applying for a job at the USCIS, it's a pretty straightforward process, but you need to be prepared. And that means focusing and highlighting on your achievements. There's been this trend recently with the people I've been coaching that the achievements, for some reason, they're underneath the responsibility section. There's 2 or 3 paragraphs talking about duties and responsibilities, and hiding underneath that mountain of text, that's where we're squeezing our achievements in. Let's not do that. Let's be proud of our achievements. That's what's going to get somebody excited about interviewing you. Put that exciting stuff at the top where people are more likely going to read, or at least they're going to be reading with intention at the top. So make sure you're making that small change. And speak about your achievements. Provide adequate context. It's just not you doing something and then something else happens. There's more involved. Can we quantify it? Can we make it into a success story? That's what you should be trying to do. And remember, when it's time to interview for an agency, let's say like USCIS, look at their website, find their mission statement, or maybe they have a vision statement. Understand more about the agency. Be prepared to speak about it if you're asked the question, why us? Out of all agencies, there's over 400. Why do you want to work for this one? Have a good answer. Don't just say, well, the job announcement interests me, so I just clicked the button. I just wanted to roll the dice. You need to have something better than that. Another thing is customer service is one of the top priorities for this agency. So just in fiscal year 2024, they were able to reduce their customer wait time dramatically. It went from 22 minutes to just 5 minutes. And that's kind of unbelievable for a federal government agency. You know how it is when you call any agency. You're left on hold for pretty much ever, it seems like, right? But they want to improve this even further. So customer service representatives, if that's your field, if that's your niche, if that's something that you excel at, this is a great place to do it. You could be at a call center somewhere in the private sector and you're not getting any benefits. You could do it for the USCIS and you could be earning a pension doing the same task. So something to think about. They also offer different leadership development opportunities. So there's programs within the agency that'll help you climb the ladder, so to speak. A lot of people come in entry level, mid-career level, but they're able to get to the top, meaning GS14, GS15, even executive if you want it. Now, if you want to go to the tippity top, if you want to get up there, usually you have to come out to Washington, D.C. at some point because that's where the majority of the higher level positions are located. And even if you don't want to just stay in USCIS, you can jump around to different agencies. I know a lady that was at the agency, right? She worked at USCIS and then she made the jump to USDA. And then, 4, 5, 6 years later, she made the jump again and now she's at a completely different agency. And she's moving up pretty much every time she's making that jump. She's applying for her promotion. If it doesn't exist in the office and it doesn't exist in the agency, sometimes you have to look at different agencies. If you're in the competitive service, you can do that. You're going to have kind of more of an inside track than somebody who's just a regular, U.S. citizen that's applying to open to the public. You're going to have better chances. If you are willing to take your first step towards a government job, you probably have a lot of questions on your mind about the federal hiring process, about the pay charts, about different things to expect in an interview. I did a live stream recently. I answered over a dozen questions. A lot of these, they could be on your mind. So if you're interested in that, check this video out next. If you would like to download an example federal resume to help you, check out the links in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.